When my husband mocked my food with a PowerPoint presentation in front of our family, I was humbled. But instead of getting angry, I planned my revenge. I had been married to Ben for almost 5 years, and most of the time we were happy. I loved cooking and thought I was very good at it. I had been the family chef for years, and whenever we had someone over, I would spend hours preparing lasagna from scratch, perfectly marinated roasts, or salads made with homemade sauces. It was my beach and I was proud of it. Ben, on the other hand, could barely eat instant noodles. His attempts at cooking were rare and usually ended with takeout or, on one memorable occasion, a pot of spaghetti burnt because he forgot to add water. Despite his lack of skill, he had an unshakable confidence about everything, including cooking. Last Saturday, we had a family reunion at my mother's house. As usual, I was responsible for the main meal. I spent the day marinating the chicken, assembling the lasagna, and making a big, colorful salad. When everyone gathered around the table, they couldn't wait to eat, and the compliments started flowing in immediately. Then, when everyone was starting to eat, I noticed Ben giving me a strange smile that I couldn't read properly. I tried to ignore it, thinking that maybe he was remembering some inside joke. But then he cleared his throat and said, "You know, I've actually been taking notes on your food." I laughed, thinking he was joking. "Oh yes. Like what?" He continued. I made a little introduction. I thought he was joking, but no. He pulled out his phone, plugged it into my mom's TV, and opened an actual PowerPoint presentation titled, "Improving Our Dining Experience at Home." The table fell silent, and I stood there, stunned. "All right, guys," he began, sounding to the whole world as if he were on stage. "Slide 1, too much garlic." He tapped the screen, and a picture of garlic bulbs appeared with the note, "Strong flavors can overwhelm the palate." My cheeks burned as he continued. "Ben, what's that?" Ignoring me, he continued. "Slide 2, pasta too al dente. We all know that pasta should be soft, not crispy," he said, looking around as if waiting for everyone's agreement. My sister let out a strange laugh, and my father coughed into his napkin. I was mortified, but still too shocked to respond. He then showed slide 3, little salt in salad, explaining to everyone at the table how a good cook knows that salt enhances flavors. Finally, he closed with a photo of Gordon Ramsay, a great chef, patting his face, with the caption, "What would he think?" He leaned back with a satisfied smile, looking around for applause. The room was quiet. My mother broke the silence with a forced laugh. "Well, Ben, that's certainly creative," she said, trying to ease the embarrassment. I sat for the rest of the meal in silence, too humiliated to look anyone in the eye. When we got home, I didn't wait a moment before turning to him. "Ben, what was that?" "Yes. It was all a joke, honey," he replied with a shrug. "You take cooking seriously, so I thought you'd like to get some feedback." "Feedback?" Snap. "Ben, you humiliated me in front of my family. How can you think that was appropriate?" "Relax," he said, ignoring. "You're exaggerating. I was just trying to help." "Help?" I repeated in disbelief. "Ben, you can't even toast bread without setting off the smoke alarm. Who are you to criticize my food?" "It was just a joke," he said, rolling his eyes. "You're being too sensitive." I looked at him for a moment, feeling the last remnant of my patience slipping away. "That's okay. If you're such a food critic, cook for yourself. I'm done." He laughed as if he didn't believe me. "Oh, come on, you're not serious." "Oh, I'm serious, Ben," I said, crossing my arms. And I meant every word. After that humiliating dinner, I had no plans to let Ben get away with this easy one. The more I replayed the scene in my mind, the angrier I became. But instead of yelling or sulking, I decided on something better. If Ben thought PowerPoint was the way to go, well, I'd give him a presentation of my own. The following week, I put my energy into improving our financial experience. It was hard not to laugh while I worked. My slides became more ironic with each detail I added. That would be my perfect little retribution, delivered with the same over-the-top style he had worn. Slide 1 was titled "If We Could Pay for Vacations." It began with a stock photo of a sunny beach, lined with palm trees and turquoise waves. Below, I wrote, "If we had a little more financial flexibility, maybe we could be here instead of at home this summer." A few bar graphs followed, showing how our current income made a tropical vacation unfeasible at this time. Slide 2 addressed home improvements. If only we could budget for it. A bright, fully renovated kitchen filled the slide, with sleek appliances and granite countertops. Below, I added, "Imagine the potential if we had some extra cash." I then flashed a cost breakdown of your favorite weekly spending, a bit of reality disguised as humor, and labeled it Savings Potential. Cooking at home. Slide 3 had fine dining if we didn't eat out so often, complete with mouth-watering photos of elegant dishes from a nearby Michelin-starred restaurant. I would even put together a line chart comparing our monthly meal expenses to what we would need to save for a special night at a place like that. A little brutal, perhaps, but I was having too much fun at this point to care. Finally, I concluded with goals for a solid financial future. On the closing slide, I added an inspirational quote from an entrepreneur about making one's dreams come true. Just below, I inserted a motivational poster of a man in a suit pointing to the words, "Hard work pays off." I figured it would strike the right tone of playful irony. The timing couldn't have been better. We had another family reunion coming up, and I knew exactly when to release my masterpiece. On the day of the meeting, I kept a straight face during dinner, politely accepting compliments to my lasagna without mentioning the previous incident. Ben was all smiles, seeming to believe that the PowerPoint incident was already forgotten. After dinner, while everyone was relaxing in the living room, I got up. "Hello everyone," I said, clearing my throat with a smile. "Actually, I have a little presentation I'd like to share." Ben looked at me surprised. "Oh, what is it about?" "Oh, just a few notes I've been working on." I grabbed the remote and connected my laptop to the TV. The screen lit up with the headline, "Improving Our Financial Experience." Some of my family members laughed, looking at Ben. He looked uncomfortable, looking around as if he had just realized where this was going. "All right, slide 1, I said, clicking on a photo of the tropical beach. Ben's face turned red as our relatives laughed. My mother gave me a curious smile, realizing what I was doing. Slide 2. Home improvements, if only we could budget for it. I clicked on the next slide, revealing the photo of the renovated kitchen with its sleek appliances. Some of my relatives laughed openly, and my father nodded. Ben shifted in his seat, looking more uncomfortable by the second. Slide 3, I continued. Fine dining and how cutting costs can help us. At this point, Ben seemed to want to disappear, his face red and his eyes scouring the room. Finally, I came to the last slide. I smiled and concluded, with a little focus and effort, "We can accomplish anything, don't you think?" There was a moment of silence before my mother burst into laughter, followed by everyone else. Ben laughed awkwardly, trying to get into the game, though it was clear that he wasn't as entertained as everyone else. When we got home that night, Ben closed the door and let out a long sigh. "All right, message received," he said, his hands raised. "I think I deserved it." "More than deserved," I replied, crossing my arms. "Maybe next time you'll think twice before trying to critique my food in front of everyone." He nodded, his expression softening. "You're right. I was out of line. I didn't want to embarrass you. I thought I was being funny." "Well, now you know how it is," I replied, though I softened my tone, relieved that he seemed to understand. Ben gave a small embarrassed smile. "Oh, does that mean you're going to cook again?" I rolled my eyes, but I couldn't help but smile. "Maybe," I said, "but only if you promise to leave the feedback out." "Closed," he said, laughing. "From now on, you're the chef." And with that, our PowerPoint wars were officially over. Let us know what you think of this story and share it with your friends. It might brighten their day and inspire them. See you in the next exciting story.